I want you to imagine that today is your first day supporting a new teenager in school. For the next few minutes, you're not going to diagnose anyone, you're simply going to observe. As I describe different situations, ask yourself one question. Would this catch my attention as a shadow teacher? Let's begin. Scene 1. Your student arrives at school on time, they're polite, academically they're doing well, teachers describe them as intelligent, nothing immediately stands out. During break, however, you notice something interesting. Instead of joining their classmates, they quietly walk around the edge of the playground. Sometimes they sit alone, sometimes they read. Occasionally, another student speaks to them, but the conversation ends quickly. Would you assume they are simply shy, or would you keep observing? Scene 2. The next lesson involves group work. The student freezes. They don't argue, they don't refuse, they simply look unsure about where to begin. When another student changes the group's plan halfway through, they become noticeably distressed. Later, the teacher asks, "Why are you being so difficult?" But you notice something else. It doesn't look like defiance, it looks like confusion. Would you notice the difference? Scene 3. It's lunchtime. The cafeteria is noisy. Chairs scrape across the floor, students shout across tables. Within minutes, your student asks if they can leave. Not because they are hungry, not because they are upset with anyone. They simply say, "It's too much." Would you see avoidance or sensory overload? Scene 4. In English class, someone says, "Don't take it so seriously, I am only pulling your leg." Your student suddenly looks confused. They glance down at their own legs. The rest of the class laughs. Your student doesn't. A few minutes later, they ask, "Were you actually pulling my leg?" It's a small moment, but would it make you curious? Scene 5. Every afternoon seems to follow the same pattern. The student works incredibly hard. They answer questions, follow instructions, smile when spoken to. Everything appears perfectly fine. Then, just before home time, they suddenly become quiet. They stop talking, they avoid eye contact, they seem completely drained. Nothing obvious happened, yet something clearly changed. Would you wonder why? Now think back. None of these situations on their own prove anything, but together they tell a story. As shadow teachers, our role isn't to jump to conclusions, it's to recognize patterns. Every situation you have just observed can be seen in autistic teenagers. Many autistic teenagers don't fit outdated stereotypes. They may speak fluently, they may achieve good grades, they may even appear socially confident. But beneath the surface, they may be working incredibly hard to understand social rules, manage sensory experiences, and cope with constant change. Some common patterns include difficulty navigating unwritten social rules, taking language literally, becoming overwhelmed by noisy or unpredictable environments, finding changes in routine distressing, struggling with planning and organization despite strong intelligence, appearing emotionally exhausted after masking throughout the school day. Many autistic teenagers genuinely want friendships. Many desperately want to fit in. The challenge isn't motivation, it's navigating a world that often expects communication and social interaction to happen instinctively. One more observation. Now imagine another student. She smiles, she copies what everyone else is doing, she never causes disruption. Teachers describe her as quiet and well behaved. Yet every evening she goes home completely exhausted. She spends hours recovering from the effort of fitting in. This is one reason autistic girls are often recognized much later. Sometimes the students who need the most support are also the easiest to overlook. What shadow teachers should remember? Recognizing possible signs of autism is not about diagnosing. Diagnosis belongs to appropriately qualified professionals. Your role is different. Notice patterns, record objective observations, share concerns appropriately with the school team. Most importantly, create an environment where the student feels understood rather than judged. Sometimes the greatest support a shadow teacher provides is not changing the learner, is changing how the environment responds to them. If you are a shadow teacher and want to confidently recognize and support autistic, ADHD, and other neurodivergent learners in inclusive classrooms, check out my diploma in shadow teaching, supporting neurodivergent learners in schools. If you're just getting started, my Introduction to Shadow Teaching and Inclusive Education for Beginners course is the perfect first step. You'll find the links in the description below. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. Which of today's situations would have made you stop and look a little more closely? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with another educator who is passionate about inclusive education. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.